Hello, my friends, hello, and welcome once again to the groovy Vaughn Manor, where Roger and I have returned to talk about the wasted weekend. Yes, Roger and I are getting wasted again. This, of course, is all because of Ollie over at CriminOlly. Ollie, he's always causing all the trouble. So, Ollie, he is the creator of the greatest reading event that ever has appeared on BookTube, and that would, of course, be Garb August. Every August is dedicated to reading trash during this event. Books that have been judged to be trash or considered trash by society. They aren't necessarily bad books. Very often they're wonderful, entertaining books. But, society looks down upon this kind of stuff. And, the kind of books that perhaps you wouldn't want to be caught reading on a bus or something. I mean, Roger and I wouldn't mind because we have no shame. But, perhaps some snooty people wouldn't want to read these books where other people could see them reading them. So, yeah, that's Garb August. But Ollie, he can't wait. He can't wait for Garb August. No, he needs to do a wasted weekend every year now in preparation for Garb August. And that is taking place this February, the 17th. Yes, it's the weekend of the 17th. So the 17th and the 18th, if I'm getting my dates correct. That is the wasted weekend. And what you do is you choose, one book, one trashy book, just one. Unless you want to overindulge. I mean, it is a wasted weekend after all. Anyway, you choose a trashy book and you read it that weekend during the wasted weekend. And so a lot of booktubers are taking part in the wasted weekend. And can I do any less? No, I have to take part in the wasted weekend as well. So one of the reasons I really need to is because I've got so much trash. Because Garb August, when Garb August first showed up on the scene, I had to buy a ton of trashy books. And now I have and of course I kept buying them. It's a problem. It's all Roger's fault. But I kept buying them and I have leftovers. Stinky leftovers that have just been hanging out since the last couple Garb Augusts. And for the wasted weekend this year, I've got a stack of an unlucky 13. These are the unlucky 13 trashy books that are left over from previous Garb Augusts. I actually have more than this, but these are the ones I pulled out. And I'm going to let you help me choose which of these books I will read. I'm blatantly ripping off Gareth from Book Songs and Other Magic and Greg at Another Bibliophile Reads. They both did this already, where they have viewers help them choose the crappy book they're going to read. Or the I shouldn't say that, the trashy book. The trashy book. Although a couple of these could be crappy. We'll see. Anyway, I'm going to let you help me choose the trashy book that I'm going to be reading on the wasted weekend, the 17th. So here are the 13 choices. And if anything, if you see anything you want me to read and then talk about on my weekend reading report, just let me know. Put it down in the comments. If there's a book that actually gets more than one or two comments, maybe that'll be the winner. We'll see. So, the 13 stinky Garb August leftovers. The first one is Brack the Barbarian. I know, this is classy. I don't know what I'm bringing this in here for. This is by John Jakes. Sword and Sorcery Awesomeness by John Jakes, the author of the Kent Family Chronicles and the North and South Trilogy. Well, he also did awesome books like this. This is Brack the Barbarian. Yes, Brack the Barbarian, Into the Thrice-Fired Hell of Yob Haggoth. Boy, that name sounds familiar. Yob Haggoth strode the yellow-haired giant of the North. There were at least 3 and possibly 4 Brack books. I've got 3 of them. I think I'm missing one. I don't know. Somebody will let me know if I'm wrong. But anyway, this is Brack the Barbarian. A fantastic adventure in the Age of Blood. It's the Age of Blood. So, will this be what I read for the wasted weekend? Maybe. But we have a strikingly similar figure here from Lynn Carter. This is Thongor of Lemuria. It's Thongor. Look at Thongor. Thongor is busy, man. He's Thongor. And he challenged the jungle terrors of the lost continent. It's 40 cents of fun. So Thongor. Should it be Thongor instead of Brack? I don't know. But, you know, here's the choice. Thongor. Anybody want me to read Thongor? I'll read Thongor. And here's a book. I got a ton of these. I got a whole box of books from this series. This is Edge. This is Edge. I read the first one, but I've got like, what, 50 of them to go or something? This is number 2 in a violent new series. It's not new anymore, but, you know, it was new at the time. Edge, 10 Grand by George G. Gilman. So this was a series of over-the-top kind of violent westerns that were published in the 70s. I'm sure it was the 70s. It might have been the 60s. Let me see. It's got to be 70s, right? Yeah, 1971 is when this one came out. I read the first one. It was very entertaining. And it was a bit over the top, but not too bad. We'll see how Edge 10 Grand is if you want me to read it. You know, Western awesomeness, Edge, 10 grand. Should I continue the Edge series on the Wasted Weekend? Let me know. Oh, here's some really coolness from Gardner F. Fox. Gardner Fox, who wrote a million comic books like the Justice League. He wrote some novels too, like this classy bit of business here, Warrior of Larn. It's Larn from Gardner F. Fox. That's a pretty awesome cover. It probably won't tell me who did the cover though, but I'm going to look. Was that Frazetta? I don't know, but the interior artwork is by Frazetta. So that's kind of cool. Now I want to see if Frazetta did the cover. Cover and illustration. So that's a Frazetta cover, but I didn't recognize it as such. But yeah, Frank Frazetta did the cover for Warrior of Larn. That actually makes it classier than I thought it was. But should I read Warrior of Larn? Has anybody read this book in the last 50 years? I don't know. But there's Warrior of Larn. Oh, this one's fancy. This one's extra fancy. This is Fancy Man. It's Fancy Man. It's Fancy Man. Should I read Fancy Man? Look at that's Fancy Man there. He's in a little bit of trouble. He fought, schemed, lied, and loved. He fought, schemed, lied, and loved. Capture meant death for the gambler. For the Creole beauty, it could mean worse. Well, that seems kind of trashy right there, Roger. But it's fancy because it's all about a fancy man. So this looks awesome. How have I not read Fancy Man? I don't know, but Fancy Man is here. Should I read Fancy Man for the Wasted Weekend? Let me know. Oh, novelizations, by the way, are inherently trashy, apparently. So we've got a novelization here of a movie a lot of people have probably forgotten all about, and that's Silent Running. Even I barely remember this movie, but it's the novelization to Silent Running, which came out in, what, 1977 or something? I don't know. It was a while ago, Silent Running. But I have the novelization, which I got, I think, specifically for Garb August, if I'm remembering right, and then didn't read it. I could be wrong. I might have got it for some other reason. I don't know, but here it is. A Wasted Weekend leftover. So should I read Silent Running? I don't really remember much about the film, but there it is. Ooh, look at this one. Look at this one. It's Shadowlight. It's Shadowlight. It's a happy fantasy, I think. It's a happy fantasy. Let's see. Shadowlight. Gifted with the magic of 2 races. Could she save her people from an ancient evil which was spreading corruption across the land? It was spreading corruption across the land. I don't know, but maybe Shadowlight can help out. So there's Shadowlight. This is a book by Jackie Hyman. Jackie Hyman did Shadowlight. Don't pick this one. Okay, there we go. And then now everybody's going to pick Shadowlight. Just you wait. I'm going to have to read that book. Another novelization here, which I cannot believe I have not read, because I actually do want to read it, and that's Prophecy, the novelization to the 1970s classic Prophecy, a story of unrelenting terror by the author of The Omen, David Seltzer. But this is actually a novelization. And it's a novelization of a giant mutant bear movie. It's an awesome giant mutant bear movie. If you've never seen Prophecy, it's hilarious. There's a magnificent raccoon battle where a man, our hero, battles a raccoon heroically. It's amazing. And, and of course that big giant mute bear. It's this movie is incredible. And I'm sure the book is just as good. And this is one that Greg at Another Bibliophile Read says is wonderful and great. This is Incubus. This is about a sex demon, apparently. It's a sex demon, so why haven't I read it yet? I don't know. It's by Ray Russell. More terrifying than The Exorcist and Rosemary's Baby combined. The novel of sexual possession by Ray Russell. Ray Russell actually has a couple books in Penguin Classics. Not this one, though. So there's that. A few more. We've got Rogue Cop by William P. McGivern. It's classy because it has some woman being hit by some awful guy there on the cover. That just makes this book even classier than it otherwise would be. This is the film tie-in, I think. Didn't they make a movie off this? This has got to be from the movie, the pictures, right? Let me see if it says anything about the film. Does it? I don't think it does. Looks like it's from a movie, though. But yeah, Rogue Cop, William P. McGivern, author of The Big Heat, Tough Mike Carmody Took Graft Until... Anyway, it's about a dirty cop. He's a rogue cop by William P. McGivern. That looks pretty cool. Oh, God, this book. Okay, so this is The Roo. It's about a killer kangaroo, apparently. The Roo by Alan Baxter. I hear this movie. I hear this book. It looks like it should be a movie. I hear this book is not great. Juan from Plagued by Visions, the magnificent channel Plagued by Visions, he read this book and sent it to my pal Justin, who at one time had a BookTube channel, and Justin sent it to me. So it's been around, The Roo, and I haven't read it yet. But should I read it? Should I read The Roo? I might be reading it for the Wasted Weekend. Let me know. Two more. One is Flashing Swords #1 by Lynn Carter with an awesome Frank Frazetta cover. Yeah, it's probably not as trashy as any of the other books on this list, but it's, sword and sorcery is often just considered trash by society by default. So there you go. We've got Fritz Leiber in here, Jack Vance, Paul Anderson, and of course Lynn Carter, because Lynn Carter has to put himself in his anthologies. Someone's got to publish Lynn Carter. It might as well be Lynn Carter in Flashing Swords #1. That looks awesome, by the way. No one's going to pick that. Everyone's going to pick this. This is Panzer Spirit by Tom Townsend. Panzer Spirit. This was sent to me long ago by Coffee Cats and King. I think it was Coffee Cats and King that sent this. Was it? It's been a while, but I think so. Now I'm wondering if Juan sent this to me also. I can't remember. One of those guys did. And I haven't read it because I've had it for a long time. And you'd say, why wouldn't you read this right away? It's about, a Nazi tank. That looks awesome. So Panzer Spirit by Tom Townsend. Yeah. Unleashed from evil hibernation. It's unleashed from evil hibernation. Hibernation can be evil, just in case you didn't know. So yeah, those are my choices for the Wasted Weekend, February the 17th. You can join us by reading trash of your choice over the weekend. But these are the books, the steaming pile of leftovers. Tell me which one of those I should read. Okay, guys, I will catch you next time.